I have a quick note on trim painting. I just finished a job where the customer required just painting the walls. So I went ahead actually and painted the walls. And after they saw it, they said to me, "Oh boy, the trim doesn't look very good at all." So then afterwards, I painted the trim, and it does a lot of different things. First of all, it makes the job look finished. It doesn't look like somebody just simply painted the walls and just left the trim. Secondly, it gives the room a much more clean, sharp look. Even if you don't paint the trim like a large contrasting difference, very close to the wall color, is still not bad, because the thing is that if you don't paint the trim, it looks dull, and it doesn't look like a finished job. Some of the things that might influence this decision is, for example, when the floor was being cleaned, or the carpet was being cleaned, it gets dirty from scuff marks from the vacuum cleaner, or something happened with the floor buffer or whatever. If you're doing it over tile floors. That's one of the reasons you might want to paint the trim, because it doesn't look good. Another one is accumulation of dust over a couple of years. It gets on top of the baseboard. Even let's say the face of the baseboard looks fine, but the very top edge that's got dirt on it, and it just doesn't look very good. So this is probably the major reasons why you want to paint the baseboard. There's two types of paint you can use for trim: latex and oil. The common practice these days for homeowners is they use latex paints. The benefits using latex paints: number one, it cleans up easily when you're finished using it, and also dries fast, so it's a finished product very shortly afterwards. The cons about it, though, is it doesn't level very well. So if you're using a very low line latex paint, you'll end up with mostly brush marks through it. Even if you're using a top line latex semi-gloss, let's say, for example, you can't reach into it. You can't dip back into the paint job a couple of minutes afterwards, trying to straightening it out. For example, if you've painted a door frame and then you see it doesn't quite look right, you can't go back into it a couple of minutes later and straighten it out with the longer brush marks, because you'll just end up wrecking the already semi-set paint on the frame. So it's a little bit harder to work with. So basically, whatever you do, you got to do it right the first time when you're painting trim work with latex. But on the other hand, if you go with oil, which is a little bit harder for cleaning, like to clean it out, it stinks a little bit more, and you have to use solvents to clean the oil out with. The thing with that, though, is that if you do something, let's say some bit of trim, you don't like the way it looks, it doesn't quite look right, what you do is you can go over with it with the brush a couple minutes later, and it'll still straighten out. You can still go from the top to the bottom. Let's say a door frame, you make one big swoop, and it turns out not bad, because it's still wet, it's still pliable. You can still do stuff with it.